All right, everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. I'm here today with the boy Kurt. We've been working together with him for about a month and a half. And yeah, basically in this video, we're just going to go over, how his experience has been. We've gotten some pretty insane results, and I'd like to think we've done pretty well. So yeah, how's it going, brother?
Good, how are you, bro? How are the both of you?
Good, bro. Excited to have you here, bro. I think Raf will first take it away, but yeah.
Yeah, bro. I guess my first question to you would be, because obviously before we started working together, you were actually working with someone who's actually quite well known in the space, and obviously that experience you told us wasn't really the best. What kind of was like your system for content before working with us? What did it look like? What were the results? Yeah, what did basically all of that look like?
I'll tell you one thing with YouTube, it was very like hit and miss. Like every week I would get to a point where it was like, okay, I've got a 7-day window. So I'd think of something, right? Wouldn't exactly be the best. And then I would have to have another 7-day window, and I would always leave it to last minute to be able to think of a YouTube video. Whereas at least with YouTube now, like even given that we are posting, because I used to post once a week, now that we're posting twice a week, I'm still well ahead and not having to leave myself behind, if that makes sense. So that already, especially as like somebody that's a business owner, that already provides me like a peace of mind to not have to panic and try and think of the next video all the time. Do you know what I mean? Just based on what you guys like provided me so far. The strategy for short form. So that was sort of similar, but it was by day. Like day by day, I'd have to think of something new, or I'd package it up like every Thursday, and I'd just be rushing around trying to think of content, which I can imagine most people do, or maybe they're not like me. But that was like one of the biggest problems I had, because I wanted something where it was just like at least done for you, so I could not have to think about it and just focus on the business and making sure the business is actually making money.
Fuck, bro. So every single like day with the short form, you were thinking like, yo, what do I post? What's the best reel? Every week with the YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, that's sick. And now literally all you need to do is just show up and film.
Yeah. What's great, one thing that I will say, because it's like, I didn't like scripting my content, right? I fucking hated it. So can I swear on this?
Of course, bro. Yeah. No worries.
I didn't like scripting my content, so it would just mostly be like I would just title something and then just try and think of something on the spot. One thing that has been extremely helpful is when you give me like short form scripted content, even though I don't necessarily use that exact one, it does help me build a framework to think of different ideas based off one topic. So like I'll follow the script. Sometimes I'll follow the script. Sometimes I will just make it my own. Or sometimes I will just like edit it in my own way to my own swing, but given that it still provides me with enough content.
Yeah, it gives you kind of like the structure, so you can go ahead and make it your own. Yeah, so you're not sat there worried about, what's the best script? How do I even make the idea? I think I remember, bro, it was on our onboarding call. We had the first few ideas ready, and you were just like, wow, how the fuck did you guys think of all of these?
That's important to note as well, because I think other people might struggle with this. When you do sales every day, or when you do your own business model every day, it becomes difficult to think outside the box in terms of what would be good for content, because you try and focus on like, this doesn't sound good enough. Forgetting that this to normal people, this isn't normal. So when you're so stuck in the business, I find it quite difficult to expose myself to like different types of content, whereas you guys give me the ability to like think outside of my own brain and think of different perspectives.
Yeah. And then just to go off the scripting parts again, bro, you said the short form helps you, but how's the YouTube scripts been? When you open up a YouTube script to record, how's that been? Because obviously, we provide you with the Myros and stuff like that. How's like your experience with the first couple of YouTube scripts that we gave you and you recorded? What was your experience there? Did you like them? Like, can you just talk a bit more about the YouTube side?
So the Myros in the beginning were really helpful, just in terms of like an actual process to follow, and the ideas and the principles of what they were solid. Like they were just extremely easy to follow without me having to overcomplicate things. So it was just easier for me to post YouTube videos rather than have to think of something from scratch. You with me?
100%. Yeah, it freed up all the mental real estate on the revenues. Yeah. Mm-hmm. On the revenue side too as well, I know we don't have the exact tracking numbers, but how much would you say you've done roughly organically? I know obviously you had the record day, you said YouTube played a big part, but all in all, since we've started, what do you think rough ballpark is?
Well, we've done about 200K cash collected profit each month.
Really?
Yeah, last month was probably the record. I don't know what it was exactly. I think it was about 220 or something like that, 220K cash. We don't do revenue, just FYI, for anybody that thinks it's revenue. We don't do that. We only focus on like what is actually brought in from cash. So like we did a 200K cash month from just, and we do that completely organic. There's no ads, no webinars, no nothing as of yet. So it's all just completely organic, and that mostly comes from YouTube as well.
Wow. So basically, first month working with us and your business hit a record month, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just consistent as well. So it's hard for people to hide away from the content every day
Yeah.
because you're in the face all the time.
Wow, that's good. Bro, we love to hear that, bro.
That's sick,
amazing.
bro. I didn't think it goes that much. Organic, yeah. And also another thing too as well, when I was looking at our YouTube, bro, a lot of our viewers actually are like they've been on the channel for a while. And you know, it's just good that now we're actually posting consistently, we're actually hitting KPIs, because that just serves to nurture them a lot more. And now also too as well, we're reaching a new audience. Like that Eladio video, it's very bottom of the funnel client testimonial, but for that it's actually performing really well. So on my side, it's really good to see that one, you know, people on the channel are actually coming back and watching the videos. That means, you know, the value's there and that they're really good. But also at the same time, we're reaching, you know, new people and bringing in, you know, more leads, and also just helping more people at the end of the day, because obviously your program's fucking amazing. Like you said too as well, when we first started, there's actually like a bunch of sales coaches who watch your stuff and copy it. So yeah, on our side, it's great to see that. One, obviously we're making money, but two, also we're just reaching more people and we're helping them, because a big thing with the high ticket sales space right now is just, you know, everything's so saturated, everyone's selling a program, and you know, most of these fucking coaches just aren't qualified to do it. And you know, I'm really glad we're you know.
One thing I would say about the YouTube as well, because even if I give you ideas, like let's just take the 5 a.m. analogy for an example, just like the way you scripted, pretty much, I give you the idea, the baseline of what it was, and then you just come back to me with like a full baseline, like a full foundation of like what to follow and how to play it out.
Yeah, the 5 a.m. analogy one, you sent over the carousel, you're like, yo, this did really well, I think it can rip as a YouTube video. That's scripted out. And then, you know, we did, and it did. So it's been that's actually another question I had for you. How would you say the like one-on-one support has been ever since working with us? Because that's something personally we pride ourselves a lot on. We don't just, you know, hand you off to the editors or hand you off to a junior account manager. Like we work with you one-on-one every single day to make sure we're hitting KPI and we're meeting the goals. How's your experience been there?
I don't know if you want me to say this, because I know sometimes you might actually want people in Slack, but because I don't spend a lot of time in Slack, right? So just having the WhatsApp group is so much better for me, because I'm just constantly on WhatsApp like pretty much every day, because that's where my community is. So I don't look at Slack. So just the fact that like as soon as I ask a question, like it's already answered within like the same, let's say 2 to 3 minutes. And sometimes, and it's just the constant feedback in terms of like, if I need this doing, you'll do this. If you need this from me, I'll get it over to you. But at least you're actually on top of it in terms of like making sure I get what I need. I don't think I've ever spoken to like your editors or anything, but I'm just directly speaking to you 24/7.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, that's something we're very big on. We try to be as one-on-one, because you know, you paid us. We're on the sales call, you spoke to us, so you don't want to speak to some random Indian or some random Vietnamese VA, right? So that's something we're big on. So just wanted to get that.
One thing that I will say as well, if I didn't like something, or if I didn't like something happening in the content, or if I wasn't happy with something turned out, or I didn't agree with this idea that you had, I've experienced like there was no pushback to it, because like I mentioned previously, like every time I tried to mention something that wasn't satisfied with previously, they pushed back on it and just said it was like a limiting belief. That wasn't helpful for me, because I wasn't learning from that. It was just like, oh, just limiting belief, just limiting belief, and just limiting belief. And it just turned into a bad experience. So at least with this, like you've kind of adjusted to like what my own, like how I like to do stuff, and it's kind of aligned with me a little bit more compared to previously.
That's the biggest thing too as well, Brian. I think that's how we've been able to get pretty good results. It's one, like the constant feedback loop. Like we're always in contact, we're always bouncing ideas off of each other. And also we're aligned. Like we don't want you to sit there and like make videos you hate. Like when you like done clicking off the camera, you turn it off, you're like, fuck, I actually don't really want to post that, or like, fuck, that sucked. We want you to make videos that, you know, you're actually proud of making. And I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, bro, content is, if you don't like the video that you're about to post, if you wouldn't share it, comment on it, save it, you're gonna attract the wrong person, even if you do put it out. So yeah, we're super big on making sure we actually put out content that you like, and yeah.
Yeah, because there has to be conviction in the idea, bro. Like, it's if you open up the Miro or the script and you're like, fuck, this isn't even like what I teach, that's going to show off in the recording. Whereas, with what we've been doing, it's actually aligned to the way you sell. It's aligned to, your story and who you are as a person. And then the viewer sees that too as well. Like, we always get great feedback in the comments on YouTube too. People are always saying thank you for the value. And, we can see it when you record too as well. So really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
One thing that stood out in the onboarding as well was that sheet that you made me fill out. As long as it fucking took, because I was filling it out quite in depth.
Sorry, bro, that was my fault. That's my
No, but
fault.
it's a good thing though, isn't it? It's actually like a good thing because you're getting insights onto everything. So like how my brain works, what my personal journey was. So that was actually helpful. That's only a small thing, but just that was the difference in what I'd seen previously from other content creators.
Yeah, that actually was going to go straight into my next question. How do you feel like we've actually taken, stuff from your program, the way you teach, the way you think? Like, do you feel like that's been put into the actual content that we've been making and sending to you?
Yeah, I can tell it just based on like the wording or certain phrases that you use in the Miro boards, for example. I can just tell that there's obviously times where you've gone through the content to hear me say a certain word or phrase, and then it's obviously reflected into the content. So I can tell there's like a level of effort in terms of like you actually going through my content, how I sell, my coaching calls, so that you can put that into the content and it reflects exactly to the ICP.
Perfect. Yeah, that you answered my question before I even answered it, and now you doubled down. Appreciate it.
But
Hey, bro. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We can wrap it up. I think my last question to you, bro, before we do is, what would you say to anyone who's like on the fence?
always the final question. I get it all the time. I had with content. Oh, fuck, it's a good question. What would I say to somebody that's what would I say to somebody that's what?
On the fence to working with us.
What's the main problem that you see that people don't want to work with you?
That's a good question. They're just scared, bro. Honestly, that is a good question too as well. I would say they don't want to quote unquote be a guru. They think maybe working with the team would like ruin their authenticity, which obviously you said no, that's not the case. We literally took everything from you in onboarding.
So to answer that one, they're still in control of how they're perceived online. So like my content, even when I speak from like the stuff that you provide, I still speak from like my own true self. So like you only become a guru if you fucking behave like one. The difference in like how you edit our content doesn't make a difference. Just if you come across like one in your own personality. Go on. What was the other one?
The other one. What would you say?
I think they're just scared to take the like shoot the shot, bro. I think they worried that just because of a bad experience like you did.
That or they think organic content doesn't, not necessarily that it doesn't work, but it might not work for them.
Yeah, and that's the two biggest ones. Organic doesn't work for them, and that they just had a bad experience similar to you, so they're hesitant to pull a shot
on another team. Yeah.
It only doesn't work for people if you don't give it the effort. If you don't actually give it the effort required or the attention that it actually needs. My offer does pretty well because I put a lot of effort. Like I said, like I go through day by day trying to think of each and every content, right? But I actually put in a level of effort with it. Whereas at least with this, it can take me completely hands off. But if you're selling like a product or a service to people and you're scared that it might not work for you, your prospect's going to be doing the same thing. So if you want them to do something or invest in a service with you, you've got to reflect the same thing in your own situation. Because if you can't walk through your own phase, you won't be able to walk them through theirs.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, right. Like, there's nothing more I can say. I can sit here and convince you that whoever on the other side is that I can sit here and convince you, but it won't do you any justice because you've got to get out your own fucking way. Content is content. It's like the best thing about content that people forget, right? You are losing money every time that you don't post it because you're losing clients that you don't even know you could acquire. And content is there for life, right?
Mhm.
So you can post a piece of content like a year ago that still converts today, but now you're missing out on money because you're not even bothering posting it.
And then your competitors who are posting consistently are getting that lead. Yeah.
So if not your competitors, then there's an individual out there that is looking for help, and you're being selfish because you're too scared, despite not knowing that there's somebody out there looking to invest in somebody like you and they need your help.
Someone who needs you. Yeah. I like that.
So there you go.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, let's keep crushing. Let's run another one in a few months. I'm sure we'll be at even bigger numbers. And yeah, to everyone watching, thank you. You heard the man. If you want to work with us, it's the first link in the description. Kurt's YouTube and Instagram is in the description too as well if you want to check him out. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.